As you know, I think house hacking is the best way to get into real estate investing, but there could be an even more powerful strategy, and I'm going to talk about that here today. It's what I like to call house hacking on steroids. And the key difference here between house hacking and house hacking on steroids is this strategy takes advantage of the capital gains tax exemption. Here's how it works. You buy a property and move into it as your primary residence. You live there for 2 years while renting out other bedrooms or other units. This helps cover your mortgage, your other expenses, housing costs. Then after 2 years, you move out and go purchase your next property. Then you rent out that property you were just in. So there's the house hacking side of it. But after year 4, you sell the property. And this is where the difference comes with the steroids side to house hacking. The key benefit to this strategy is you don't have to pay capital gains or long-term capital gains on that property if you've lived in there for 2 years or more. Because you lived in that property for 2 years or more within the last 5 makes your property exempt from capital gains taxes. So let's put this into an example. Say you buy a duplex for $300,000 with 5% down, or $15,000. You live in one unit and you rent out the other one. This helps cover some of those housing costs that I mentioned earlier. From the day you bought the property and over those next 2 years, let's say the value of the property increased by $50,000 up to $350,000. You move out and rent the entire property for another 2 years. And during those years 3 and 4, it increases another $50,000 to a total of $400,000. For this tax exemption to work, you have to sell it within the last 5 years of living there. So you have to sell it before year 5. So we're going to sell this after year 4. So after year 4, it's sold for $400,000 and you realize a profit of $100,000. You purchased it for $300 and appreciated up to $400. Normally, you would be subject to capital gains tax, but because you lived in there for 2 years of the last 5, you pay 0 capital gains tax on the proceeds or the profit that you receive. If you're single, you're exempt from up to $250,000. If you're married, you're exempt up to $500,000 in capital gains or profit. So in this example, you just received $85,000 tax-free off of your $15,000 down payment. This doesn't even include the principal pay down, the tax deductions you've taken over those 4 years, or even the rental income you've received during those 4 years. So when we take those into consideration, your return is probably much higher. But that's not all. Let's say you did some repairs or you did some work to the property to increase the value. That sale price may be even higher than $400,000. Another benefit to this strategy is, again, it's repeatable. It's similar to the original house hacking method, but instead of holding these forever, you sell every 2 to 5 years. And after selling those properties, you can turn around and use those tax-free proceeds to purchase the next property and start this process all over again. So think of it as a snowball. That $15,000 down payment ultimately turned into $85,000 in tax-free profit. So imagine using that $85,000 towards your next property and what that could do. And I probably sound like a broken record, but remember, this is all tax-free money. So the house hacking that we talk about and this method here with house hacking on steroids is really just a great testament to how awesome real estate is in general. There are a lot of different ways, a lot of different methods that you can really build your wealth and build equity. But these two methods with just straight house hacking, buying a property every year, and also buying a property every 2 years and selling it every 4 or 5 are my favorite methods by far. So in conclusion, this method takes advantage of the capital gains exemption for primary residences. And by living in the property for 2 years and then renting it out for another 2 and then selling before the 5th year, you can reap significant benefits from the rental income, the appreciation, and the capital gains exemptions. Plus, it's repeatable, which allows you to really snowball this thing, allowing you to build your income and your equity gains at an exponential rate. So again, thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I truly appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share with your grandparents. We'll see you guys next time.